The fight between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson has been set for November 23rd. The two have already met in person to get ready for the big event, and fans can't wait for it to happen. Before the fight, Shakur Stevenson made it clear that he knows how strong Gervonta Davis' hands are, but he will be able to avoid knockout blow on fight night. Make sure you follow the channel and turn on the post notice bell. If you do this, you won't miss any more vids from the combat sports world after you beat Frank Martin easily to keep the WBA championship. Davis started talking to IBF champion Vasyl Lomachenko right away, but the Ukrainian finally pulled out, saying he didn't want to fight this year. Now, let's talk about Stevenson. He recently defended his WBC title against Artem Harutyunyan in a clear and controversial way. Stevenson has always said that Lomachenko and Davis are trying to stay away from him. If they both want to fight, there is nothing stopping them right now. In an interview with the It Is What It Is podcast, Floyd Mayweather, who managed Tank for a lot of his career before a messy split, said that the two athletes were the best in their class for very different reasons. There were fighters between 130, 135, and 160 pounds, and they were stacked around that area. Right now, the two guys who are the strongest at 135 pounds are probably Tank Davis and Michael Johnson. Shakur Stevenson has some of the most accurate and destructive power punches in the sport. Even though Davis has a 45% knockout-to-win ratio, he has beaten all but two of his opponents by knockout. Stats show that Stevenson has the best defense in the sport. When questioned if having the required talents would be sufficient to defeat opponents, Mayweather reacted positively, saying that it's all about ability. Colonel Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was very exciting, very tough, and he faced everybody. Shakur's trying to do the same thing. He wants to fight the best they have out there, and he's asking if he can fight the best. I think his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully, we can come together, and I can get him to the next level with the fights he needs that he wants since this interview. Stevenson's team has spoken with Mayweather and is enjoying talks from Eddie Hearn's Matchroom. Given that Davis is affiliated with PBC, it is possible that he will investigate that part as well. Fans have been wanting this fight for a long time, have a lot of mixed views on how it will go down, with numerous different comments like if this is real finally Gervonta can get this easy W and move on with his career, this will be Gervonta's easiest fight. Shakur can win. Promoter Eddie Hearn has also made it clear that he feels the Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson fight will go place next. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tank Davis facing Shakur Stevenson because situations and circumstances are everything. Hearn told IFL TV Tank's got all his eggs in the basket for a Vasyl Lomachenko fight, and if that goes through, you're left holding your dong at that point, wondering who I'm going to face. Shakur, who is a free agency. He's ready to make a deal, time, everything.
See, the thing is with Tank, who I think is a brilliant fighter, right? So exciting, very heavy-handed. He loses a lot of rounds, right? He lost rounds against Frank Martin. He lost rounds against Ryan Garcia. He lost rounds against Pitbull Cruz. And these are all guys that aren't on the same level as Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson. So he has to put a dent in these people, otherwise he'll get beat. But he does put a dent in it because he punches really hard, and Tank's not just a puncher, he's got a good boxing IQ as well. I just don't think he's technically, or the IQ is as good as Lomachenko or as good as Shakur Stevenson. But can he put a dent in them? Because I promise you this, if he don't stop these people, he will be behind at nearly every junction of those fights, Lomachenko included. I think he stops Lomachenko, but he'll be behind.
Gervonta Davis has made it clear that the chance of a Shakur Stevenson battle does not excite him the most, but he is more than ready to destroy him in the ring if it comes to fruition.
I'm saying these guys are they just got to, like, they get a few wins and they get a little above themselves. They ain't really, like, they come see me and I give them they get a real check.
Yeah.
A real check, and they get a real opponent. And I won't even say no real opponent, a real, you know what I mean, the champ. Yeah. They get the champ.
Before we get into the video, what are your honest thoughts on how a bout between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson would go down? Would Davis's knockout power be too much for Shakur to handle, or would Shakur Stevenson be able to score a decision win with a defense masterclass? Comment below. The question of who would win in such stacked weight classes and who is the best has long been up for dispute. In an interview with Cigar Talk, newly crowned heavyweight champion Claressa Shields stated that Stevenson was the best. To me, Shakur is the best. He's better than Tank, Devin, Ryan Garcia, and Timo. Shakur is my number one in those weight categories. He is me. I'm never going to discount a fighter. I think Tank has some fantastic skills and strong-ass punches. He's very XP explosive, but so is Shakur. For me, Shakur has faced more difficult obstacles than Tank. When you look at the fighters Shakur faced, their records and style, Tank cannot say he is the best if he knocked off Ryan and Raleigh. Who is a Raleigh and who is a Ryan? Those guys would never get in the ring with Shakur. People say it only takes one, which is true, but when you're only getting hit 5 or 6% of the time, I'm simply rocking with Shakur for that fight, and he'll be wise. Shakur is also strong and fast, and when he has something to show, he fights to a higher level. Time will tell if this bout comes to fruition as the fans want it. It makes sense timing-wise, so hopefully it goes over the line and contracts are signed. Subscribe to Fight Fury for future videos from the combat sports world and turn on the post notice bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Till then, see you in the next one.